Hello, friends and enemies. After a week off, we are continuing 2021, the year of the Mexigoth, fittingly with a whole compilation of Mexican goth bands. In this case, We Are One, New Dark Wave. We Are One is a small record label from Mexico. All of their releases so far are alternative, mostly dark alternative and electronic leaning. All but one of this label's releases so far have been albums by individual bands, making this 2020 release their second compilation album. This album is composed of 20 songs, all by different bands from Mexico that are dark and or electronic alternative bands. So basically the kind of bands that We Are One usually tends to produce, and making the title of this mix, New Dark Wave, fairly accurate. We'll be getting more into the genres the album features in a second. Those of you who've been following me for a while now know that I have reviewed compilation albums in the past, and spoiler alert, I intend to review more in the future. Something I often comment on in these reviews of compilations is the subgenre diversity and how well all the different songs go together. Only one of the artists featured on this compilation, Monotonous Cities, is one whose music I have reviewed before on this channel, though there are more whose work I have reviews planned for in the future. If you follow me on my other social media accounts where I regularly post songs by Latin American goth artists, I have featured almost all of them at least once. So if you follow me there, you'll know most of them. Obviously, they are all what would be considered indie artists, but if you're into this kind of music, I feel like you'll probably have heard of at least a few of the artists who are on this mix. Most of the songs are on the dark electronic post-punk side of things. Sometimes it is hard to place where the exact line between goth with a synthesizer and dark wave lies, but most of the songs on this release were somewhere in that category. A few of the songs did have a bit more of the mellow rock, generally more post-punk goth edge, while others had a bit more of a synthy dance vibe, making it about 50-50, and it pretty much switches off every other song in that distribution of subgenres. In this way, I think the songs worked very well together, and I can imagine hearing this whole album as a DJ's entire set in a way that would go together, but also not in a way that would get too tedious, as a few of the songs, I would say, had a more generally less dark new wave sound, but they still fit in with everything. It's like when you're at the goth club and the DJ puts on a song by Soft Cell or Tears for Fears. Sure, it's technically not goth, but it fits in just fine and no one complains. A handful of the songs were more cold wave sounding, mostly relegated to the end of the album, I'm guessing because that's considered a more risky genre than general dark wave and post-punk goth. Only one song, literally the last song on the collection, falls into the industrial cybergoth subcategory, which I personally don't mind as someone who is not particularly into that kind of music, but for any of you cybergoth and industrial fans out there, this collection is not for you unless you just want to listen to that last song by Dios Bestial, who you should look into on your own if you want more music like that. Overall, I thought this was a decent mix for a dancey goth time, perfect for the background of your next goth get-together, or even the club if you're a really lazy DJ not in the mood for making a new mix for your next gig. Not that you should actually do that, I'm just saying you could. If you've watched this far, leave a comment with the wave emoji in it because it's dark wave music. Below I have links if you want to listen to this album or check out We Are One's other social media accounts. If you want to follow me, I have my Linktree linked below in the description as well. I would like to make a special thanks to all the stock photo websites with their endless supplies of images of synthesizers. Until next time, bye now.